Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guidance servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. Today's Post Daily Dose coming to you from inside of a rental car. Hey, how about that? From Sherman Oaks, California. I've never been to Sherman Oaks before, so I'm out here for a meeting to talk about the planning of something special out here in California. And my battery was running low because it wasn't charging in my car for whatever reason. So I got a new little charger thing, and now it's charging. And I figured if I was standing out somewhere, my battery would probably run out and I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys. So charging and having Post Daily Dose inside this fabulous rental car. Hope everyone's doing good. So here's the thing. Hey, Stefan, hope you guys are having a good late night in the Netherlands. And hello there, mother. What brought this up is I had a coaching call with a parent who's struggling with her adopted son, and I asked her to go through this process with him, and she reported back, and I could tell that you see the most amazing cars around here. I mean, the cars around here, it's like the Rolls Royces, they're just everywhere, and the Bentleys and the BMW i8s, and it's just interesting. I could tell that she had a conversation. She didn't have an emotional connection. Hey, good evening, Gareth. Thank you for that, buddy. She didn't have an emotional connection. And here's the thing. And if you've heard me in my lectures, you've heard me say this before. Lecturing and talking is limited. The Post Daily Dose is limited because all we can do is have an exchange of words. And words, they carry a vibration because they are of vibration, but they have a much lower vibration than emotions do. Words come from your left hemisphere, so they're generated from your body into your right hemisphere, but they're manifested from your left hemisphere. Your left hemisphere is not fully connected to the rest of your body. Your right hemisphere is what is connected to your whole body. So your left hemisphere kind of sets out here, on its own, even though they're both connected. It doesn't have the same vibration. And so when you're communicating with your child, when you're communicating with your partner, when you really want to be heard, when you really want to be felt, it is imperative that you access your emotional state first. And we have such a hard time with that as adults. We have such a hard time with getting raw and vulnerable and real, whether that's being sad, whether that's feeling shame, whether that's feeling angry. And it's, yesterday I think I talked about apologizing, how to start the process of doing something different with your child. And you start that with an apology. And I can remember on a few different occasions when I've apologized to my children. Usually it is on bended knee, and it is very tearful. It is very emotional. And it immediately touches them at a deeper level, because I am speaking from a deeper level. I am speaking from a heart level. I'm speaking from a full right hemisphere activation level. And some of you want to be able to connect to your kids because they're struggling, and you feel like you feel like your understanding is dialed in. You feel like you're really grasping a little bit closer to understanding what needs to happen. And you go to connect, and what comes out are just words. They're just words. and then your kids don't want to hear anything you have to say. And when they don't want to hear anything you have to say, you start talking with more words. You start getting anxious, and you start talking with more words and more words. And before long, they're telling you to shut up. They're telling you to leave them alone. They're telling you that you don't care. You're just talking. They don't want to hear you. It's because they can't feel you. When I can't feel you, it is really hard for me to hear you. And that's why, especially people who don't know me and my style and my approach, is when I'm really talking about something that I'm passionate about, you're going to feel it through the phone, because I am deeply passionate about it. I want you to feel it, because this is this is my only vehicle of communication with some of you. Some of you I'll never meet ever. Others of you I've met and spent a lot of time with. Some of you have followed me, like Gareth, followed me for 15 years, and I've just had an opportunity to meet Gareth in Traverse City. So when I'm communicating, I want you to feel me. I don't want to just give you a bunch of heady bullshit. We love the academics that give us the heady bullshit and the psychobabble, and it makes us feel safe. It makes us feel like we're more in control, like we're smarter. You know what? That's all some trash. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. That's all some trash. If you can't get into the heart of the matter, if you can't get into the emotion, if you can't get into the raw core feeling, the tears, the sadness, the grief, the shame, the pain, just shut up. I crack myself up sometimes with stuff I say. I do mean it, but I don't mean it in a harsh way. I really mean, if you're trying to connect with someone and all you're doing is talking to them, you really are just literally wasting your breath, because they can't feel you. And if that person can't feel you, you're not going to reach them at that level that you want to reach them. And that level is the body. The body is where the emotion's at. The body is where the pain's at. The body is where the trauma's at. The brain stem is where all that trauma and all that icky stuff is at. And if you can't reach that individual emotionally, you're not going to be able to get into that deeper level part of who they are to start that healing process. So it's so important that you are able to number one, recognize how important that is. Sometimes I'm doing one of these and a messenger will pop up and it just totally distracts me. Recognize how important it is to touch that emotion. You don't have to say anything to your kids if you're in the moment and you're not connecting and you don't know what quite to say, and you feel overwhelmed. You don't have to say anything. Stress and fear is what makes you feel like you want to say something. People can tell when you aren't being genuine too. Talk with them, not at them. Yeah, it's so true, Catherine. Catherine says, if you're just talking at someone and you're not talking with them, it's such an important thing, because they can sense when it's not real. They can sense when it's not genuine. They can sense when it's not authentic. And to be honest with you, I have to keep it dialed down, because I get too carried away in just the feeling of what it is I'm trying to communicate. Sometimes the best thing for you to do is not say anything. Just stop talking. Just back away. If I could get you to back away, and this is what we're going to do. August, I think I just put it in the description. August 15th and 16th, the Post-Parenting Boot Camp's coming back. We're going to do one in August. I think it's 15th, 16th, or 16th, 17th, August in Oklahoma City. And this is what we do. We talk a little bit, but then we get into the emotion of the challenges. We get into the emotion, and the emotion is where the healing is at. And so teaching you how to have emotional, heartfelt conversations with your children is how you have breakthroughs. It's how you cut through the BS. It's how you connect. If I could get you, your kids in the middle of acting out, and I could get you This is the reflect, relate, and the regulate. If I could get you to stop and reflect, and when I say stop and reflect, I don't only want you to calm yourself down. That's the important part. And I want you to be aware of anything that might be coming up for you, any kind of emotion that you might be feeling. But I want you to connect to your child's pain. I want you to connect to what it is that's driving that behavior in that moment. I want you to connect to what that history is that they've gone through that's driving that behavior in that moment that makes you so mad at them. It makes you feel so helpless. It makes you want to wring their neck. It makes you feel so resentful. But if you'll connect to what their real story is, if you'll connect to what the real pain of the experience is, you'll go so much deeper than just your head. You'll get out of your own head, you'll get into your body, and you'll connect. And sometimes you go all the way back to when your child was in utero. Some of your children experienced extreme sadness and loss in utero. When was the last time you grieved that pain for them? I mean, grieved it. Your child can tell you that they don't want to talk about it, and you don't have to talk to them about it to grieve their freaking pain. You don't have to talk to them about it to be mad in your body, be mad and express and go into the emotion over the pain that they've gone through at the hands of whatever adults. Connecting to the emotion is so important. So that's definitely what we'll be doing in the post-parenting boot camps, and that's what always makes them exceptional. So mark your calendars if you haven't already. August 16th, 17th, more details going to be coming out. Probably here in the next few days, here in the next week. And so I'd love for you guys to join me. Lovevolution members get a free pass to this thing. And it's been almost 10 years since I did one. And the people who, what's interesting is that the people who went to my camps, they still talk about having attended camp. So it's going to be a big thing, and you can bring your children. We'll have childcare, and it's going to be amazing, fantastic. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to do a little bit of work. Wait for my meeting. I actually left 2 hours before my meeting so I could beat traffic. Takes 1 hour to drive 15 miles. And had I left another 30 minutes later, it would have taken 2 hours to drive 15 miles. It's crazy. But there's a lot of people out here in California. All right, God bless you. Remember, in any given situation, we always have two choices. We can continue to react from the same blueprints and imprints of stress, overwhelm, and fear. We can be driven by our unconscious. We can hold our breath. We can be reactive and not present, or we can stop. We can slow down. We can take 3 to 10 deep breaths, and we can choose love. And we all have the ability in any given moment to be able to do that. So God bless you. Big Papa loves you, and we'll see you tomorrow.